What's this again?
I have it on my. I'm worried about Ben Shimon.
Welcome, folks, to Chumash and Rashi, the Torah portion, Ve'es Chanan. We are on the third reading. Today's learning is Le'ilei Nishmas, is for the ascent of the soul of Mordechai ben Shimon Leib, Yibadu L'chaim Tovim. Our dear Shimon Leib, his son, it's his second yahrzeit. We say L'chaim Baruch Atah Adonai Leinu Mechelam Shehakol Niyeh B'dvarei.
Amen.
L'chaim, it's Neshama Shav and Aliyah. Most important, the Yidden is Hama Yeshua Mashiach now. L'chaim. Ooh.
We are at page 1176. 1176.
All right, folks. Let us get straight to the parsha. The third reading, because it's the third day. So we continue in chapter 4 of Devarim, verse 41. Then Yavdil, he separated Moshe separated then Sholosh Orim, 3 cities, Be'evar Yarden, on the Transjordan, Mizracha on the east side, Shamesh towards the sunrise.
It's not facing Jerusalem.
No, it's not about facing Jerusalem. No, there's no notion, no sense over here that it's about Jerusalem.
See the side of the river towards the sunrise.
The sunrise,
Yeah.
but that's not Jerusalem, right?
Why is it
41.
necessary?
Huh?
Why is it necessary to write Shamish? Mizrach is not enough.
Rashi's gonna, I think, deal with it. Let's see. Let's see what Rashi's. Oz Yavdil. Then Moshe set aside Nasan Lev. He set his heart, Liyas Charid Ledavar, to be determined about this matter. Charid means literally trembling about the matter. The Avdilim, and he set them aside. Yavdil, the word Yavdil is future tense, like Oz Yashir, it's future tense. So because he's setting it aside, but it's something to be used in the future. So this is speaking now about Ari Miklat, cities of refuge, as we will learn. The details over here. City of refuge, meaning that someone who accidentally killed another individual, they have to go to a city of refuge in order to have refuge from the Goyal Adam, from the Redeemer. Let us see. Afal Pisha Enam Koltes, although they, so he would set them aside, even though they would not provide refuge Canaan, until the other cities in Canaan would also be set aside. In other words, he set aside these particular cities now, but they didn't work. They weren't functional, because they'd only be functional once the Jews go into Canaan and they set aside 3 cities there. Then those 3 cities that were on Transjordan would become functional. Okay? That's what it means. That's why it's in future tense, because he's setting it aside now, but its functionality is only going to be then.
Somebody now kill somebody accidentally.
So there isn't a city of refuge. Amar Moshe said, so why is he doing it now? What's the point? If it's not a functional mitzvah, so what is the point? So Rashi continues, it says, Moshe said, if I have a possibility to fulfill a mitzvah, I came in, I'm going to fulfill it. That's what we learn. In other words, which is an important point that comes out of this, fulfilling a mitzvah is not because of its functional use. It's because it's a mitzvah, so if you fulfill it, period. It's what God wants, you do it. Even if it doesn't have a functional, value in the moment. Okay, next Rashi. L'chaim. Okay. Be'ever yardim Mizrach Shamish, on the other side of the Jordan, on the east. Ba'isa Aver, on that side, Shem Mizrach Shel Yardim, she's on the east of the Jordan. Whoa, what did he say here? In other words, it wasn't on the east of the world, it was the east of the Jordan. That's what he's saying. That, like, I don't know how you would understand it differently, but I'm not clear. Okay. Mizracha Shamish, on the east, literally means on the rising of the sun. Lefishu Davuk, since the word
Jordan River, isn't it? The whole Jordan itself.
it never says Jordan River. We haven't had it once saying Jordan River, by the way. Not one.
Really? It never says it?
Never. Always says Jordan.
River?
Always says Jordan.
Jordan.
Yeah.
Just only the Jordan.
Only says Yarden. Never says, yeah.
Not referring to the country.
Obviously not, because there was no such country then.
No. No.
What was it called then, by the way?
Huh?
What was it called then, huh?
Babylon?
It was Sichain, Oig Melech Bashan, Sichain, Moiri, was the Amorites, right? That's what that part of the world was then, right? That's what was conquered by Moshe, right? I think we need to go back to its original name and conquer it again. Okay, you heard it first here. Absolutely. That's what we're talking about. Mashiach now. All right. So it literally means at the rising of the sun. Lefisha Hudavak. So now he's going to some grammar over here. Since the word Mizracha is connected in a construct form, Nekuda Reish B'chata, the Reish is vowelized with a Chataf, which is what we call a Shva. Mizrach Shel Shemesh, meaning to say the rising of the sun in the reference to the east. Makom Shezrichas HaShemesh, the place of the rising of the sun. Why is it saying it in that term? No, I don't know. Okay, 42.
It's not written with a chataf. Yeah, the Chumash. It's just a shva. It's a shva na.
Well, that's a chataf is a shvana. That's what he's saying.
Chataf is when you have, let's say, patach, and then you have
Rashi's term for what we call now. Rashi calls a chataf. Tell you what it says here. What it says over here as Rashi's chataf is what is our shva. Anyway,
if you look in the siddur, you'll see it's chataf patach, chataf kamatz, but not when it's just a shva.
Anyway, I don't know Dick Duke well enough to okay.
Modern Hebrew.
Right, but this is not modern Hebrew, this is biblical Hebrew, so I think it's a bit different.
Shemesh means sun.
Shemesh means sun, yes.
The word before it,
Mizracha
means rise.
means, yeah, the rising of the, it means the sunrise of the sun.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Literally, yeah. Like Zrichas Hashemesh means the rising of the sun. Okay, Lanu. So now he's speaking about continuing in 42 that this 3 cities are Lanus Shama, to run over there, to flee there. Roitzeach, a killer. Asher Yirzach, that he killed Esre'ehu, his friend, his fellow Jew. Bibli das, without knowledge, without intent, in other words, inadvertently, the way it translates. But bibli das means without knowledge, meaning inadvertently. V'hu lo yiseinei lo, and the verse continues, and he did not hate him. Mitmol shel shoim, from yesterday, from previously, from yesterday. V'nos el achas, and he will run till one min ha'arim, of the cities, ha'el, these, v'chai, and therefore he will live. Okay?
But they're not functional yet.
They're not functional. He's just giving now the mitzvah. This is what the mitzvah is. Even though he separated them, they were not functional then. Exactly. Well, as we learned previously. Okay. Bes Betzer, and Betzer Bamidbar, in the desert, Be'eretz Amishor, in the land of the Mishor, of the plain, meaning the straight way, the straight of the land, L'Ruveni, that belongs to Ruvain. Ve'es Ramais, we're talking about the cities now, right? Ve'es Ramais, Begilad, that Ramah is the city that's in Gilad, Ligadi, that belongs to the tribe of God, right? Remember, this is Transjordan. God and Reuven are getting that land after they go and fight together with the Jews for 7 years, and 7 years that it will be given over the land to all of the tribes, and then they will go back. There's Golan, and the third city is Golan, but Bashan, that's in the place called Bashan, Lemenashi, for the tribe of Menashe. Those are the three cities. And this is the Torah, meaning the instruction. Asher Sam Moshe, that Moshe placed Lifnei Bnei Israel, before the children of Israel, right?
We have to say.
Yeah. You know what those words are? Any sound familiar? Don't say anything, Chaim. Let us.
So,
Huh?
opening up the ark.
Is it? Yeah.
Oh no, lifting up the ark. Lifting up the.
V'zois ha'terav asher sam Moshe lifnei b'nei Yisrael, and we don't add anything else. Biyad Moshe. We don't say that because look what the verse says, right?
You have to say this before he went across Jordan. Those three, because he wouldn't get this after.
What?
Never mind.
No, he did it because it was a mitzvah to do, even though the mitzvah didn't have its functional use at the time, but to separate the cities was his mitzvah that he had to do, and he did it.
Did he say the other four also before he passed? Only three? Okay.
The other three were done by Yeshua. Okay.
Isn't it the mitzvah was in the land of Canaan?
No, you see here it's not. No, there's three on the Yarden.
You
see very clearly.
The mitzvah was in the land that Hashem promised.
Reuven, Gad, and Menashe are Transjordan. They also
But
need.
they're outside of, they're outside of the land.
Also, you see there. See, the mitzvah is there too. The mitzvah only begins once you do it in the land of Israel. That affects it now outside of Israel. But the mitzvah is there too. To make a Ari Miklat. Okay, Rashi in 44. And this is the teaching. Zu Shehi Asid Lisader, this which will be set forth in the future. Achar Parsha Zu, after this passage. And others. Okay, what does that mean? Further, continuing. 45. These are the testimonies, v'achokim, and the statutory laws that are beyond logic, v'amishpatim, and the ordinances that are logical, rational. Asher diber Moshe, that Moshe spoke, el bnei Israel, to the children of Israel, but say some in Mitzrayim, from as they're going out of Egypt. When they went out of Egypt. 45 in Rashi. Eila ha'edus. Asher diber, these are the testimonies of when Moshe spoke. Haim asher diber, these are the very ones that he spoke. But says when he went out of Egypt, he went and taught them over again. Ba'arvetz Moav, in the plains of Moab, right? Asher be'evar Yarden, which is on the other side of the Jordan. Shul be'Mizrah, which is on the east. Evar Asheni on the other side. V'ayam be'Marib was on the west. Wow. Interesting what's Rashi like, and just emphasizing everything that we've said till now. And that's the emphasis of this verse, that this is everything that he spoke. And the Zois HaTorah, this is the Torah, and others, he's repeat. What do you mean this is a Torah? We already learned Torah from previously. This that he's teaching now, the instructions, is a repeat. That's what's called Deuteronomy in English, right? The second teachings, right? Because it's Moshe repeating things that were given previously. Okay. 46. Be'eva Yarden, on the other side of the Yarden, on the east side, but on the other side, doesn't say which side. Begai rather, in the valley, Mul base Poor, opposite base Poor, Be'eretz Sichain, in the land of Sichain. Oh, remember we just mentioned Jordan. We're renaming it Sichain. Melechai Meiri. Sichain is the king of the Amorites. Asher Yoshe Becheshbon, that he dwelt in Cheshbon. Asher he called Moshe, that was smitten by Moshe of an Israel and the children of Israel. It says every time when they went out of Egypt.
So the land is actually called Heshbon.
The land of the Amorites in the city. The city was Cheshbon. The area was the Amorite area. The nation was an Amorites. The city was Cheshbon. The Yishu is Artzai, and they took possession of his land, his Eretz, and also the land of Og, who is the king of Melech, who is the king of Bashan. He's the king of Bashan. Shnei Melachim. These two kings, Ha'amoiri, which is the Amorite king, Asher Be'ever Yarden, Mizrach Shamish, that is on the other side of the Yarden, Mizrach Shamish, there we have it again, towards the sunrise on the east. Right? So there's Cheshbon and Bashan, they're both in the Amorite kingdom. Rashi in 47. Thank you. Shehu b'mizrach she'ever asheni haya b'mariv. That this is on to the east. The other side of the was to the west. Okay, may our orer from our orer asher alsfas nachal Arnain, which is on the edge of the valley of Arnain, adhar Sion v'hu until Mount Sion, which is Mount Hermon, which we had last week was 4 names we had for that mountain. Chol ha'arava, and the entire plain. Eva Yarden on the other side of the Jordan, Mizrach on the east, V'ad Yam Ha'arava, until the sea, Ha'arava on the plain, Tachas Ashdod Sapisga, by the peak of the mountain of Nevo. Let's see, we have over here.
Mount Sion is another name for Mount Sinai, right? Or not?
No.
No? Okay.
Sion? No, not at all. This is Transjordan, remember?
Okay.
This which is Mount Hermon.
in the north.
Okay.
That's all very close to the Syrian border.
Oh, okay.
Could be Israelites. Sion.
No, this is Mount Sion.
What is
Says
it?
here, Mount Sion is also.
Yeah.
So Syria.
Whereas Mount Hermon, I think.
I want to make a nice one bigger with color.
Syrian
with Syria. Syria.
So I guess the land of the king Og of Bashan, the 2 kings of the Amorites, what was their territory? Right? It was on the other side of the Jordan, on the eastern bank of the Jordan. That's where it is. So this one doesn't go high enough.
That's what I want to make a
Yeah.
nice big one.
Yeah, I need something that goes higher than this.
And definitely Bashan is Israeli land because Arabs can say Pashan, they say
Yeah,
Pashan.
sure.
They say Pashan.
Well, here's Cheshbain. Cheshbain is where where Sichain was Melech Cheshbain. So here's Cheshbain right over here, right? It's right at across above the Dead Sea by the beginning of the Jordan River.
The end of the Jordan River.
Yeah.
The end.
The top of the Dead Sea and the bottom of the Jordan River.
You dropped the air or it's still on?
What did see?
Yeah, it's over here.
It's not that far north.
See, this is where it is, right over here.
That's south of Jerusalem.
It's not that sea.
It's south of Jerusalem.
I think
It's
south of
south.
Jerusalem.
It's across Jericho. It's across Jericho. Because we said that already, that it was across Jericho. We said in previous verses. Okay, let's see what the Rebbe has to share with us over here.
Should the air conditioner be on or off? Right up.
Whatever. I'll leave that.
And it's not so cold here. Okay.
Okay, good.
Oh, okay. Here we have. So we have we said Oz Yavdil. Let's go to the first Rashi. So the Rebbe has on this. So Rashi said, even though the cities were not refuge, but they were separated then, until they were separated in the land of Canaan, Moshe said, if I have a mitzvah to fulfill, I'm going to fulfill it. So the Rebbe says there's a difference in the language of Rashi to that of the Rambam. Rambam says, Hoyel uba mitzvahs liyodei, since it came a mitzvah to his hand, akimenu, I will fulfill it. That's the language of Rambam, right? As opposed to Rashi, mitzvah she'efsheh. So Rambam is making it personal. It comes to your hand, the mitzvah, I'm going to fulfill it. Rashi, it says when it's possible to fulfill, I will fulfill it, right? That's how he says it. So the Rebbe says there's a difference between the two in halacha. There's a distinction in the using just those terms, even though seemingly it's suggesting the same idea, right? But there's a difference. When you say when it comes a mitzvah to my hand, it's about the person, the gavra, the individual. In the halachic language, it's called gavra, the individual. And it's not about the action. It's more about the individual. That when you, right, as opposed to when there's the possibility of the act, so it's going on the chefza rather than the gavra. It's going on the act, right, and not about the person who's doing the act. And the emphasis. In the end, it's the same thing, but the nuance, thank you, makes a difference. So what does that mean? Of course, the shita of the Rambam, the position of the Rambam is that the Ari Miklat and the Evar Yardin, they're not kaled until they are separated in Eretz Yisrael. Was because that which Moshe did was only a preparation of that which would be fulfilled in the end by Yoshua when they crossed the Jordan. It was only a prep, according to the Rambam, right?
Who says that it goes on the cover of the episode?
He says it's going on the Gavra, right? He says it's going on the Gavra, on the individual, right? Because according to the Rambam, this was not a mitzvah, efshar lekaima, right? He's using Rashi's term, right? It was on a mitzvah that was possibly to be fulfilled. Why? Because the actions of Moshe did not bring a fulfillment to the mitzvah, right? So all it was a certain involvement in the mitzvah that would ultimately be fulfilled, not by Moshe, but by Yeshua, because it will be through his hands that will do it. That's why he uses the term hand, right? Speaking about the person. According to Rashi, though, he has a different of opinion, that the separation of the city by Moshe was already part of the geder, the definition of the mitzvah of Ari Miklat, and therefore it has a halachic parameter to it, except that it was only an actualized, right? That it becomes that it's koilet, that actually serves as a refuge, only when it was separated in the land of Canaan. And therefore, he uses the term mitzvah, a mitzvah she'efshar, that's possible. In other words, the object of the mitzvah, not the person doing the mitzvah, but the object of the mitzvah that's efshar, that's possible to do, it needs to be done, and therefore he does it. And it has a halachic ramification. It wasn't merely a prep for what would be. Now, if you got that, you're pretty good. Okay, let's go further on that.
He's going on the chef.
He's going, yeah. Rashi's going on the chefza.
Rashi, opening Rashi says, "Nosan lei lies." Padel is dove for shiyam. Delay. So he says,
No, that just means he realized he's got to do. No, one second. When we speak about chefza and gavra, obviously the two have to come together. You can't disassociate a person from the mitzvah, right? The question is, so listen, the fact that he comes to an awareness and a recognition has nothing to do with what is the main factor in what's going on over here. Of course, there has to be an awareness of a person. Without an awareness of a person, well, then you have no mitzvah. The only time you have an awareness, the only time you have a mitzvah that there is no awareness of a person is money fell from your pocket and a poor person picked it up. So therefore you have a mitzvah nonetheless. But that's only in that mitzvah, no other mitzvah. If you said Shema without an awareness that you're saying the Shema, if you put on tefillin and you didn't have any awareness you're putting on tefillin, you have no mitzvah. You have the chefza, you have the object on you, but you have no awareness this is a mitzvah. So you have no mitzvah. So because you need both gavra and chefza, you need person and object involved in both. The question is, what's the main thing? Is it the object or is it the person? That's the argument over here between Rashi and the Rambam. What is the main focus? Is it the object that is to be fulfilled, or is it the person that's fulfilling the object? But of course, you have to both come together.
Rashi's saying it's the person.
No, he's saying the opposite. He said that's why he says efsha, that it's possible to do the act of the mitzvah. Rambam says lidei, by the hands. When it comes to your hand, that's emphasizing you, the person, the doing it, the gavra, right? That's the distinction between the two. Huh?
Moses' hand?
The person who's doing the mitzvah.
Anyone.
Anybody, whoever's hand.
Okay, so we take this in advance for the person doing the mitzvah, okay.
So if I don't know, if it's how to be,
Huh?
if I know that, it's the how to be, what is it?
It's a very refined distinction over here. According to the Rambam, what the Rambam sees or what Moshe did is only a prep for what eventually will only be accomplished by Yeshua. Because Yeshua is going to separate the three in Israel, right? And Canaan. what the Rashi sees it, it's not merely a prep. It's part of the definition of the mitzvah. The definition of the mitzvah is that you need to separate 3 cities in Transjordan, right? And he's doing, and it's part of the gather, the definition of the mitzvah of separating 3 cities, right? These 3 cities. That again, it's a very refined, different, difference.
מצווה בא לידך, אל תחמיצנו. So that the idea of like you might missing it out. It's not just do it in a moment, you might actually never do it.
Right. So what do you mean?
So it's
Either way,
there's a risk
either,
there.
by the way, either way, when it comes to whether it's because it's to your hands or there's a possibility to do the mitzvah, either one, do it. There's no distinction in that respect.
Actually, there's always the possibility that you can do it because it has to go in the hefza. But in the Rambam, there's a chance you might never do it. I think there's a little difference.
I'm not. I mean, in both instances, if the opportunity presents itself, grab it. That's the point. Either one. The question is in this instance, is this part of the definition of the mitzvah, or is it only a prep work for the mitzvah?
Just trying to think why there's a difference in their thought, like why this one is on you and that one is on the heifer. It's like what's
It doesn't say over here. I don't know that we'd have to look further. I don't know. I would say the Rambam. I would say because Rambam is halachas, and halachas is about you and your fulfillment. The way I would perceive it is about your fulfillment, your obligations in observing halachas. So it's more about you rather than it, right? It's more. While Rashi is Pshuto Shel Mikra, who's explaining simplicity, the simplicity of Torah, what Torah is saying. And what's Torah saying? It's about it. It's about it, not about you. It's about it. But that's my I don't know if that's true.
It appears that everything is a Rashi, about the government. Not about that.
No, but that's
Over here, like it's about the government.
so I explained that. I explained that already. Huh?
Look at that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Again, Pesach. It's not
Akimena, I'm gonna do it. Akimena.
right because
But the government. Akimena.
yeah, but no, mitzvah she'efshar is not about the gavra.
Akimena.
Again, the deal.
Looks like.
Pesach, Pesach. Please listen. Listen to of course, there has to be a person to fulfill the mitzvah. Without a person fulfilling the mitzvah, you have no mitzvah. No, so the two have to come together. The question is which more emphasis.
Again and again, I understand. One with the other doesn't make any sense. Of course you have to. I'm saying that when you read the Rashi, everything seems to be about the government.
All right,
All of me.
all right.
Okay. You
You
say that according to Rashi, anybody can do it?
Shkoya. Huh?
According to Rashi, anybody can do it.
Well, maybe then that answers Pesach. Then that answers Pesach. Akimena, I'll do it because it's there and since it's possible. So I'm not going to wait for someone else to do it because the mitzvah potential is there. Akimena, so I'll do it.
That's why it seems like government.
No, again, you whatever. I'm not going to repeat again.
Separating the idea to say without the perhaps any sense, of course.
That's nice.
All right, folks. Amazing. Okay. In a few moments, we'll have Tanya.
Thank you, Rabbi.
There's still a people in for that.